afterwards.
I love having big discussions after movies with my friends, but rarely do my friends want to have big discussions after movies with me.
That's why we have a podcast, because I'm in the same boat. How's life?
Oh, just working.
Okay, yeah. It's a way to start the new year.
Where are the fires there?
Yeah, this episode will drop a little after, but in California, they'll probably still rage. So, all is not well.
Well, that's scary.
Um, on another side note about the fires, did you know that they use prisoners as firefighters?
I did know that, yeah.
I had no idea until I saw a Threads post. They pay them $1 an hour and they go out and they make them fight fires. Not make them. They sign up to be outside of prison,
Yeah.
but then they're
It's
conscripted, or whatever you want to call it.
it's ethically dubious, a
Yeah.
for-profit prison complex that essentially has slave labor that they don't have to pay for.
Yep.
But they get out of their cells and go do something good. So it's morally gray all over the place.
Well,
So
let's talk about movies. Let's use that as a beautiful segue. I've seen some stuff. You've seen some stuff. Let's talk about, what do you think, two or three apiece?
Yeah, let's do it.
Did you watch the Globes, by the way?
No, I did not.
Okay. Well, this first one I'm going to talk about, I really wanted to watch because Sebastian Stan won a Golden Globe for his performance in it. It's called A Different Man. Have you seen anything about this movie, A Different Man?
I've seen chatter about it on Twitter, but that's about it.
Okay, so I don't know the politically correct term, and I've looked around and it's a little gray to me, so please correct me, slash everyone, please give me some grace. Disfigurement is an interesting thing that outside of The Elephant Man, I just haven't seen a lot of in movies and TV. And this movie is all about it. So directed by Aaron Schimberg and written by him, stars Sebastian Stan, then this guy named Adam Pearson. And Adam Pearson has a disfigurement similar to the Elephant Man. He's a British actor, and I know that he and Sebastian Stan grew really close. But without too many spoilers, I'm going to give you the one-two punch of this movie. Sebastian Stan has prosthetics at the start of it. He's also disfigured. He's trying to be an actor, doesn't have much luck, really just has a really rough life. People stare at him on the train, and we get it all from his perspective. Everyone's looking at him, looking at him, looking at him. Like so many other movies, they offer a miracle drug that promises to reverse the disfigurement and fully just take it off. Now, it is gross at parts. It's really horrifying to watch. But he does have a new face and comes out as Sebastian Stan. And so it's so good. His life has changed. They do a time jump, but he's told everyone in his past life that guy died. He takes on a whole new persona. Until later, his old neighbor is making a play about him, the disfigured guy, and he wants to star in it. And he finds himself at odds, new face Sebastian Stan, with Adam Pearson's character Oswald, who actually has disfigurement, and he becomes jealous of the guy who's still disfigured. And it is a wild, dark, twisted movie that made me think about a lot of things, and I still can't stop thinking about it. They call it out in the movie, our brains as humans are wired to be afraid of people that look different than us or who are disfigured, because evolutionarily we're not supposed to reproduce with them biologically. And it calls into question so many things about if the interior is truly ugly, it doesn't matter what the exterior looks like or if it gets fixed, right? Or vice versa. The writer-director, Aaron Schimberg, does some crazy things in this movie of breadcrumbing you throughout and bringing up motifs and names and characters. And it spans some time towards the end of the movie. It has a bunch of jumps. Fantastic movie. I think everyone should watch it, even though it is rough at parts.
What's it on?
It's on United Airlines. It's an A24 movie. So it's currently video on demand. So it's $5. $5 on YouTube and Prime, $6 on Apple. You might be able to catch it in theaters if you're in a place that's getting this in there before the Oscars. But yeah, $5, rent it, have some friends over, and have a big discussion afterwards.
I love having big discussions after movies with my friends, but rarely do my friends want to have big discussions after movies with me.
That's why we have a podcast, because I'm in the same boat. After a movie, let's talk about what this means. And they're like, no.
I remember watching this Jordan Peele Us.
Us. Yeah.
Us. I remember watching Us with a group of friends for the first time, and I was just like, after the movie, I just wanted to talk about it, be like, yo, dude, this is all about the psychological shadow and all this stuff. And like my friends were
Yeah.
like, it was just a movie. I'm like, it wasn't
Oh.
just a movie. You simpleton plebes. This is so much more than just a movie. This was social commentary. And no one wanted to talk about it with me. I was so disappointed.
And again, this is why we have the podcast. I don't know if it would be doable, but I would just love like a book club to have. Maybe that's something we'll start this year. Just like a once a month get together. We're gonna all watch a movie and discuss it. And like, I know it can devolve, but I would love
Yeah.
a good discussion.
Anyways,
Your turn.
you watched a hard psychological movie to watch, and so did I. I didn't know that was what I was in for though. You ever seen Shiva Baby
No, but I've wanted
with
to.
Rachel Sennett and Molly Gordon? So I watched this movie Shiva Baby, and so here's the truth: is that here in Utah, I'm pretty divorced from Jewish culture,
Hmm.
whereas it's pretty strong over on the East Coast or other places in the United States. Uh, but like I've had a window into it watching Broad City. You kind of got a window into Jewish family culture.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this movie was a lot. It's
Um,
basically you get is this girl, Rachel Sennett's character, whose name is Danielle, and it kind of it's just about how her life is just a freaking mess, and then she just goes to this shiva for some relatives, auntie, grandma, or something, and then every person who is like a contributing factor in her life being a mess happens to be at this shiva because the community is so broad. And the entire it's just her kind of like running from stressful interaction to stressful interaction, because she's told her parents one story about her life, her friend another story about her life, and the man who's cheating on his wife with her a different story
oh,
about her life. And so it's just so stressful about like, oh, are you in school? You're going to law school. Oh, this person can connect you with this person to get yourself a job. And it was just like, it was so stressful. And like, I think that was the point of the movie, was to have it be super stressful. But, there's a couple points where the editing and the music do a really good job of kind of sinking you as a viewer into the anxiety attack that she's actively having on screen. And I just remember being like, I can't actively be watching this. I have to be looking at my phone as well,
wow.
which is how I felt when I was watching The Bear, because it was just so high anxiety and so high stress that I was like, I need to split my attention between the movie and something else in order for me to continue watching this. And Shiva Baby was that all the way through, because you just kind of watch someone who is struggling in their life for a lot of reasons, and who can't help but also be self-destructive. So you watch them make choices that you just know are not going to end well on screen, and you're just like, but why did you do that? And then of course it does not end well, and then everyone ends up in a car together driving home because I don't know, dude, you got to see it. You got to see it. And yeah, and I'm just like really glad that I have a family who's not super hands-on with the details of my life, because as a single man in my 30s here in Salt Lake, and I'm working part-time jobs and stuff, a lot of people could probably have a lot to say about the way that I'm living my life right now. And it would just add fuel to my fire in a negative way. And I think that this movie does a really good job, I think, of capturing the stress of being like a young adult in a very in a changing world, where I think we were promised one thing, and we've been getting another, and
Yeah.
the kind of the aimlessness that some of us have, and the stress of having to deal with that amongst our own self-destructive behaviors. And Rachel Sennett did a really good job.
Perfect for our age and our time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know this got really good, pretty good reviews. Like 7.1 on IMDb, kind of similar on Rotten Tomatoes and things like that. But I just remember from my Jewish friends in LA, they loved it, and it's not like from what it sounds like from you, it's not like a strictly Jewish experience. It's more like all of ours, but through a lens of a religious parent and kind of
Yeah.
culture. So. Shiva Baby. And you watch that on Netflix?
Yes.
Cool. We'll link that in the show notes. All right,
And by
Rachel
the way,
Sennett.
Rachel Sennett, if you're listening, I'm just a guy, you know. I got a lot of love to give, and I got a kitchen full of food that I could make you. And
This might be the
drop,
second Rachel Sennett call out from you in 6 months.
drop a boy a DM.
Drop a boy a DM.
Take a
All
chance.
right. Shiva Baby 2021 on Netflix. The next one is for me is going to also be on Netflix. Let's talk about Carry On. Did you watch Carry
Oh,
On?
no, I haven't, but
The
I've seen
Christmas
trailers and all this
thriller?
stuff. Yeah.
Look, I gotta say, for like cheap popcorny movies that somehow involve the holidays almost unnecessarily, it is a fun one. It's not fantastic. It's written by T.J. Fixman, directed by Jean Collet-Serra. So T.J. Fixman is known for like writing Ratchet and Clank stuff recently.
Oh wow.
He's been a video game writer. This is his first movie, and at times it kind of shows. So like the writing is not fantastic. There's a lot of moments where you're just kind of like, all right, I know Netflix is asking for just filthy, filthy exposition, just in your face, like, I'm a bad guy and you're a good guy, but you're going to listen to me or else I'm going to kill your wife. And they just keep repeating it. And you're like, I know it's because it's a second screen movie, but please stop saying this. The director, Jean Claude Serra, also directed Unknown, which is Liam Neeson, The Shallows, which is that, shark bait movie, Orphan,
Wow.
House of Wax, The Commuter. He loves Liam Neeson, and this just feels like it was made for Liam Neeson, but he's too old. So it was like, let's get Taron Egerton. He's going to, need some money. Anyways, Jason Bateman is a really bad, bad guy. He's just not good at all. You have Sophia Carson playing Taron Egerton's wife, or I guess partner. They're not married yet, and she announces she has a baby. That's like their Christmas morning miracle. There's just a lot going on that's all over the place, but she is really bad. And so you have like a really bad cast around him and a really bad script. And so this is a movie that's like meant for popcorn and your phone out. Has some good moments. It runs long, takes a little while to get into the thick of it. My in-laws were just like, we need explosions at 4 or 5 minutes. We do not need explosions at 10. They were a little sad at how long it took to get to explosions. That said, still fun. You can tune in and out a little bit here or there. You're not going to miss much. A lot of plot holes. You're just like, how the hell did this even happen? I, of course, know how airplanes work. So when it gets on the airplane, I'm like, that, no, pressurized cabin, whatever. Anyways, it's a fun one. Good production value. They did not spend as much on the script, but Carry On, Netflix. Even post Christmas, it's fun.
Am I the only one who like wonders why Taron Egerton hasn't had a bigger career? Like I remember seeing him in The
Thank you.
Kingsman, and like I think he did the Elton John biopic, and then
Yeah.
like I haven't seen anything, and then I just saw him in this. I'm like, really? This is what you're doing right now? I thought you were like the guy.
So here's the problem. He has spent a lot of his the guy time on a terrible contract with Apple. He signed a multi-picture deal with Apple. So he did Tetris. Did you watch that?
No.
Tetris was good. It was on Apple TV 2023, a fun one. Then he did a TV miniseries on Apple TV called Blackbird that is, I've heard, really great. I haven't watched it yet. It's a guy being sentenced to a prison. He's befriending serial killers. Very dark and very hard to watch, is what everyone says. But anyways, he did that, and then of course he's made a big chunk of money as a voice actor on Sing and Sing 2. So I blame his agent because, like you're saying, he should have been the guy. He got snubbed in Rocket Man, got no awards, hype, or anything, and he killed it in that movie. But it was honestly just too gay for a lot of old Hollywood. That's why they didn't look at it the same. Because it came out 2019. Bohemian Rhapsody was what, 2018, 19?
Yeah.
Rocket Man is 10 times the movie Bohemian Rhapsody could have hoped to be. And yet, the difference between the two is Rocket Man is extremely gay at moments and shows him in a more creative way, where Bohemian Rhapsody was like straight by the book biopic. He had a bomb in Robin Hood. So yeah, post Kingsman, he's just not had a great time.
That's wild.
And it shows in this movie because he's good. His American accent is not good. But why are you doing this? To me, it's a John Hamm effect. Why are you wasting your time on these weird side movies? Go make a big thing.
Go make a big thing, John Hamm.
All right, what else did you watch?
This is a movie that I texted you about.
Oh yeah,
My Old Ass.
what about it?
It was so good. My Old Ass featuring Maisie Stella and Aubrey Plaza, Percy Hines White, and this is just a really feel good, cute movie. It's filmed in British Columbia somewhere during the summertime, so it is like just jaw droppingly like gorgeous landscape cinematics. You got basically the story is you got this girl. Her name is Elliot, and she's growing up on her parents' cranberry farm in the middle of the forest of British Columbia. Just beautiful. It's summertime. Everything is dripping in summertime, like goldenness and beauty, and I just love it. The premise is she goes to this island on this lake with her friends, and they all do mushrooms. And her two friends have mushroom experiences, but then for her, she's like, "This isn't working." And then all of a sudden, Aubrey Plaza's character is there, and Aubrey
Oh,
Plaza plays her in 20 years in the future.
okay.
And then they have conversation, they talk about stuff, and then the trip ends, and then she kind of just like, what the hell was that? But then Aubrey Plaza's Elliot version of Elliot, the future Elliot, ends up putting her phone number in younger Elliot's phone, and they're able to text and like
Wow.
call each other. And so they were able to develop kind of a friendship and relationship. And you kind of get this like, you kind of get this story that's around the older one, the older version of you giving you wisdom on how to live your life, and then you think that that's all the story is going to be. And then the story kind of develops into like this love story of this girl who is about to leave for college, who's in love with this place, this beautiful like cranberry farm in the forest. And she's sad to be leaving that, sad to be leaving her friends, sad to be leaving this boy that she's falling in love with. Um, and it kind of is a movie that ends up being about kind of a youthful love of just being alive,
Wow.
and kind of present centered, not living for your future self. Like that's kind of what the movie comes down to is like, don't live for your future self, live for yourself right now. And really just like beautiful. Like I cried at the end. And I think now as Aubrey Plaza, in the news, Aubrey Plaza's husband
Yeah.
died by suicide just this last week, that this is a really relevant movie for Aubrey Plaza right now. So if you really want to like, I don't know, get in touch with something relevant, like watch this movie. This was one of the last things Aubrey Plaza's done that isn't like, a Marvel thing. And boy, it's good. It's really good. Like it's been in my head for the last 2 weeks, and I'm like, I need to go back and watch this again, just because I think the main actor, Maisie Stella, she
Hmm.
just does such a good job. She's just like got so much personality. She just chews it up on screen. She's funny. She's charismatic. And she just does a really good job with the role. And even though her and Aubrey Plaza don't look super similar, it just doesn't matter. Like it was such an enjoyable movie. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've never seen Maisie Stella in anything. I know she was in, I think Nashville, the series. Nothing else I
Yeah,
recognize.
she's kind of an up and comer.
This is one of those movies when I saw when I saw the poster, I just thought I was like, "Where's the marketing?" I have not seen a single trailer for this movie, nothing. So I'm glad you're telling me about it, and it's on Prime. Is that right?
Yeah.
Free to watch on Prime if you have Prime. Yeah, when I saw the news about Aubrey Plaza's husband passing right after you mentioned the movie, or right around it, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Whew. So a little Eckhart Tolle of a movie to watch.
Yeah, it is. The power of right now.
The power of now. Don't wait for your future self. Watch this movie now. All right, my old ass on Prime. Let me shift gears. Do you know the band, the Talking Heads? You've listened to them?
No.
70s, 80s band? All right. Having a father who loved that music and indoctrinated me as a child, it took me a while to come back to it. So I started listening to them again a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, this was much more intelligent slash fun music than I realized when I first started listening in middle school. But last year, for the 40th anniversary, they re-released or remastered and re-released Stop Making Sense, which is one of the greatest concert movies of all time, if not the greatest. and I got to watch it again recently, and it is just so good. You might have seen pictures. The singer David Byrne is in this giant gray suit, like a three-piece suit, whatever.
Hmm.
Anyways, the music is great. The performance is great. You're like at the concert. It's not a documentary style. There's no discussion in between. You're just watching it as a full concert, and it's so good start to finish. So for anyone who likes Talking Heads or music or just wants a concert at home, go watch Stop Making Sense. It's for rent on VOD, $5-6 again, but not a bad price to pay for a little concert at home or on the go. And the music's fantastic. I mean, it's timeless. I, of course, have Burning Down the House stuck in my head as the California fires are outside. I'm sorry,
Hmm.
but great music, great concert doc. I know things like Taylor Swift and Beyonce's concert movies from the last few years are great. This is of a different time, of a different age. It's great. Anyways, Stop Making Sense. Go rent it on VOD, Apple, Prime, the rest of it.
Okay, my last one on Netflix. Just in the last, I don't know, 3 months, they released AP Bio.
Oh yeah, Glenn
You ever watched
Howerton.
that?
I've caught an episode or two, but I want to watch the whole thing.
So this is a show that's just a diamond in the rough. Like it is just a little gem of a show. Basic premise is you get this Harvard professor, Glenn Howerton, philosophy professor, who gets fired from Harvard because of some kind of an altercation, and he basically slinks back to his hometown in Toledo, Ohio, with his tail between his legs, and he gets a job teaching AP Bio at his old high school, and he hates being there because he's got such a superiority complex about himself. And so basically, so that's the premise of the show. And he makes it everyone else's problem that he's there. And he thinks he's better than everyone, but he's just like living in his dead mom's house and just like eating TV dinners. And he's not better than any of them. He's actually
Yeah.
worse than all of them. Um, and his whole like thing is he wants to get revenge on his rival, and he refuses to teach any of his students AP Bio, any biology at all. Um, but it is so delightfully surprising. Glenn Howerton does a really great job. It's very funny. The students in the class, like the young actors, whoever they are, they all do a really great job. Just they're so much fun to watch. Patton Oswalt is in it, as well as a few other people. Um, it's just a delight of a movie. It shares some DNA, or not a movie, a TV show. It shares some DNA with Community, because Community is like you get this high-powered lawyer who actually faked his law degree and slinks
Yeah.
his way back to community college. So like, there's definitely some DNA there that's shared, and I love this show. It unfortunately got canceled, I think, after the fourth season,
Yeah.
and is because of it came out during the pandemic. They were trying to shoot it during the pandemic, and they took it from TV and then released it on Peacock, and so there's just a lot of production stuff that just didn't break its way. But it is so good. The first three seasons, gold, amazing.
Yeah.
Just great comedy, great characters. Glenn Howerton just does a really good job of playing kind of this really egotistical douchebag who thinks he's better than everyone, but at some point gets his comeuppance in every episode and then realizes that he's with everyone. Really good. Really good. I highly recommend.
Are you a fan of Always Sunny?
I've actually not seen it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, look, here's your chance. Maybe this year you'll start Always Sunny. I hope you watch the whole thing. But Glenn Howerton plays the aloof, intelligent one in Always Sunny.
Mhm.
So I know the episodes of AP Bio that I watched, I was like, oh, it's a similar character, a little
Yeah.
more on his level of, class or whatever. But I
Yeah.
love that it's on Netflix and Peacock. So if you don't have one and you have the other, you can watch both
Yeah.
there.
No, please go watch it so that I can have someone to talk about it with.
I'm gonna wrap up with one final quick little plug. There's a mini series on Netflix called Missing You. Harlan Coben, I was just recently told about this from my in law. Harlan Coben is this author who writes a bunch of these kind of just like pulpy thriller, romance, mystery novels. And they're converting them wholesale on Netflix. There's like five or six. So this is the newest one, just dropped right after New Year's. It's 2025. It's about this woman whose partner went missing 10 years ago, right after her dad died. And there's all these different questions of like the mob, and then people go missing right now. Anyways, it's British. There's 5 episodes. Each one's about 45 minutes to an hour. It's a quick watch, good, very British. And again, just like very pulpy. It's not a 10 out of 10 by any means, but if you want a quick thriller miniseries, this is a good place to start. Missing You on Netflix. Let's wrap it up there.
Cool.
We hope everyone's enjoyed this episode, and thanks again for listening. We're going to have all the shows we discussed in the show notes. Give those a listen, and we'll be back again next week.